Do it. Confidants Oath. Is this the one? Yo, what up? How's it going today? Oh, Gwenthos. All right, let's see here. It is a water seal deck. Going to level 3. Backup charger, bulwark sword, grande aguil. As long as you have 2 or more ally omens, it gets +1 attack, so it's a 2/2 for 0. Kind of like bulwark sword. It's a 3/2. Let's see here. Safeguard amulet, terrafring, good protection, confidant's oath. Whenever an omen counter is put on a card in your banishment, put a refinement counter on confidant's oath. Remove 2 refine. Oh, okay. Timeout. Timeout. We're drawing cards. I love to draw cards. Let's see here. You better guess who I am, fellow top 8 world's competitor. Oh no. Let's see. I would say, what is this? Is this Guruthos? Hello? Devouring Malice. Okay. X cost. This card has a billion lines of text. Comes in with X gym counters on it. As a spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Put 3 debuff counters on target ally. Deal 3 damage to target champion and recover 3. Deal 8 unpreventable damage to your champion and draw 2 cards. It has draw 2 on it, so I don't hate it. It costs 1 and you draw 2. Grande Soignier. Oh, this is the 4/3. Yep. Okay, okay. Heavy Swing, Lamentations, Toll. So we got 4 big attacks. Aquifer, which is kind of like, I'm going to call it budget. Budget Frostborn Paladin. The damage doesn't if you just win that turn. That's true. It's true. Just win. Cerulean Decree. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 9. 9 non-water cards. That's probably fine. Diffusive Block. Floating Memory. Fractal of Rain. Let's check out our float count for Fractal of Rain. 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, 22. 22 float, so just over a third of the deck. Okay. Usually I like to say like 24, 26, so you're not too far off. Plus, like, you don't even really care since you're going to be using it for Ciel, so it's probably fine. But we're like looking at ways to enable Frostborn Paladin as well. Okay. Let's see here. For Fracturized, do we have any self-fracturized targets? Maybe Malice, like after we're done with it, perhaps. That's a possibility. Back our power cell token. Okay, we have ways to make this a +1. It's interesting that we're playing level 3 CL, but we're not playing Dungeon Guide. That might be a mistake, but maybe it's because we don't want non-water cards or too many non-water cards. Obsequious Blow, Myra Reparation. So right now we're looking at, what, 8 big attack cards? Primordial Ritual. Whatever, like maybe we're Primordial Ritualing the Adjutant. It's a possibility. Or the Bullfrog. That's possible as well. Okay. Revitalizing Cleanse, Adjutant, Storm of Thorns. Storm of Thorns is pretty dirty in this deck list because you have a lot of like taunt and you have a lot of things that people want to generally attack. And Storm of Thorns is pretty nuts. I think this card is pretty crazy. I want more float, but I couldn't figure out what to add. I added the diffusive blocks for 2 extra float, even though I don't love it. Yeah, I don't love it either, but sometimes a diffusive block is the difference between like your Aquifer Central surviving a turn or not. So I think it's okay. Like, let's pretend like a suited deck or a Wind Allies deck or something is like desperate to clear Frostwind Paladins or Aquifer or something, keeping it alive an extra turn is plus having floating memory is usually worth it. Like, it's not going to be every situation, but pretty frequently they're going to commit a lot to just to kill one. And if you can diffusive block it, it's pretty good. Just don't make the mistake that I make and like Storm of Thornsing on the lethal attack. I think Storm of Thornsing, like the very first attack, even though it'll generally cost you like an extra point of damage to yourself, is probably correct if you're trying to protect a Frostworn or an Aquifer or something. Let's see. Thronekeeper Bullfrog, Vapor Jet Shield Bearer. Very interesting that we're running 7 like Fractal of Rain effects, like to some degree, and we're not running more float, but it's probably okay. Beguiling Coup. So Beguiling Coup is with 8 other attacks, so we're looking at 11 attacks. And Grim Pastiche, which is going to copy a non-skill action, Omen, with a reserve cost 5 or less. What good stuff do we have that we can do? Non-skill. So we can't do we could do a Lamentations Toll. We could do Beguiling Coup. Serene Decree probably not that good. Like maybe Storm of Thorns is probably fine. We could Revitalizing Cleanse. Is Lamentations Toll like your best option? Like that or Beguiling Coup? Yeah, like it's probably okay. I would probably rather have something like Regal Inquisition. Regal Inquisition's not a skill, right? Maybe it is a skill. It is a spell. Okay. I think I'd rather have like fast speed Regal Inquisition or maybe Extricating Touch. That's probably what I would want if I'm going Grim Prestige. Like, what if you're playing against a Merlin deck that's just not doing any damage to you, right? Like, they're just clearing your board and getting level counters. You being able to Grim Pastiche and heal is not going to do a whole lot. So I would like to see at least maybe 1 or 2 Regal Inquisitions main board. You don't have to have full playset in there. 1 or 2 is probably sufficient. I think the deck list is pretty good. I think that your board control is very nuts. I don't think you generally care what Fractal of Rain mills because you're just going to ship it to Banishment as an Omen anyway, more times than not. So I think that the deck list is pretty good. I like your material deck a lot. I think you had, 3 weapons? That might be a little bit overkill. Like, you have Bulwark Sword, you have Grande, and you have Grande number 2, part 2 Electric Boogaloo. I could maybe see dropping one of these swords and maybe picking up like Armoire. I think Armoire would probably be good because if you get stuck into an awkward spot where Grim Pastiche can't really play anything good because all of your omens kind of stinky doo-doo, like Grim Pastiche could just be a dead card. Yeah, I think that dropping one of these weapons is probably the right call, and either picking up like a way to draw a card. Like, we don't have a Divine Relic in this list, right? Yeah, like maybe just go Grand Crusader's Ring. Or maybe go Quicksilver Grail. Like Quicksilver Grail with like Safeguard or Tariff Ring. Pretty good. Like you can even do it with Devouring Malice, right? I like the list. I think it has some minor tweaks to it that we could be made in order to make it better. Let's go ahead and do a sample hand real quick. See how it feels. I think someone else said that they wanted me to do their list as well. Who was it? Who was it? Let me scroll up a bit real quick. Was it Vinny? Water Lorraine? Vinny, huh? Let me see if I can find your Water Lorraine after I do a sample hand or two. Boo, 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 boo. All right. Please. Let's see here. What would we do on turn 1? Fractal of Rain's obviously the best possible. We could probably do something like... It really depends on what we're thinking the opponent's on. If we have no information, like Fractal of Rain's probably your best option. You could probably reveal Vaporjet Shield Bearer. And like probably either Storm of Thorns or Revitalizing Cleanse. I generally like holding Revitalizing Cleanse because it generally heals a good chunk. I don't like to reveal it too much. And then like you could jam a frog in all honesty. Then you go to your turn. Like theoretically you would get maybe like Grand Crusader's Ring here. Like if you really think you need the omens, you could risk one of these cards. I didn't think that we would want to risk it. Like alternatively, instead of playing Fractal of Rain, we could have played Adjutant and then Primordial Ritualed it. But I like going Grand Crusader's Ring here, drawing. Womp womp womp. Wreck, draw. And then we can kind of set ourselves up with the Adjutant and then like Primordial Ritual. The hand's probably pretty fine. Like let's see, if we go Adjutant like this, we go to instep. Like if they can kill this, great. If they can't kill this, great. We Primordial Ritual instep. Get rid of this. It becomes an omen. We mill. We mill 2. We got another Floating Memory. This one's gonna level us up. And then we mill 1. Oh my god, so unlucky. Wreck and draw. And like the hand's probably fine. Like we can Frostborn Paladin off of this. We could like double Vaporjet. We're like big chillin' here. I think that looking at it, I felt the deck was pretty smooth. How well it'll do into aggro, probably pretty okay since we have like 8 Frostborn Paladins, lots of taunt, lots of intercept, Revitalizing Cleanse, Storm of Thorns. I think the end game is probably where I'd be most afraid because we don't have things like Spirel. Carter's our sideboard. So our end game is, if we're playing against like Merlin or Onsol Lorraine, we could be in a really tough spot. If we're playing against aggro, generally we make it to level 3 and we just stabilize and win the game. So I suppose thinking about this deck list a little bit more, I think that something you can maybe consider doing is having a game plan going into the late game. So maybe having Spirel, because Spirel's a good late game engine, where if you can control the board with taunts, or you can kind of just like continuously Spirel for value over and over and over again. Just kind of food for thought, thinking about how you're going to close out games, because not all the time you're going to be able to close out games with any of your like all of these big heavy swings like Beguiling Coup, Obsequious Blows, Heavy Swing, Lamentations Toll, etc., etc. Like especially if you're like in the mirror match, you might have a tough time dealing 30 damage to another Guardian. They might like take out all of your Aquifers or Frostborn Paladins. I think that you do have a good amount of damage between your Paladins and your Aquifers, and like you can tempo Heavy Swing if you'd like. But if you don't see them in the right order, you could get into a spot where you're hitting all of your damage late game and it's already too late. So just food for thought. I think the deck is good. I think that it might require you to do a little bit more brewing in how you're going to close out games. Outside of that, I like it a lot.